This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, their songwriting techniques, and occasionally getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. Welcome to episode 160. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Charlie Hickey. The LA-based singer and songwriter is releasing his debut record this Friday, entitled Nervous at Night. In today's episode, we're speaking with Charlie about working with Marshall Vore on this record, his upbringing in a musical family, and signing with Phoebe Bridgers' Saddest Factory Records. Here we go. Our guest today is an indie singer-songwriter from Pasadena in California. After releasing the brilliant Count the Stars EP last year, he's since signed with Saddest Factory Records, and this Friday he releases his debut record, entitled Nervous at Night. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Charlie Hickey. Hello, how are we?
Doing well, how are you?
Very well, thank you, very well. Charlie, whereabouts are you joining us from today?
I am joining you from my childhood home in South Pasadena.
That's very fair. What's it like in Pasadena at the moment? In where are we? In April and May?
Yeah, it's nice. It's like weather is nice. I've just got back from being on tour for about a month, so sort of adjusting to being home, enjoying being home.
You have just been spending quite a bit of time on the road. I think you have just finished a run of dates with Wolf Alice across the US.
That's right, yeah.
How did those shows go?
Oh, they were awesome. Lots of fun. Yeah, I mean, those guys are awesome, and it was great to be out with them and see them. They put on such a great show, and they're lovely people as well. And it was just really, it was really fun. It was a fun bill to be on because they're, we're not like firmly in the same like musical universe, which I think makes it cool that there's sort of like some overlap, but then also some like kind of like different audiences that I might not otherwise get to play for. So
100%. I when I saw that you were supporting Wolf Alice, I guess having heard the EP before the album and I guess following you like a little bit musically, I thought it was an interesting bill, but It is also, kind of cool that you get to be exposed to like those people who might not have had the opportunity, but are now, rushing out to buy the EP and buy this new album that's coming out this week.
Yeah. I mean, I think like definitely if you've only heard the EP, then it could seem like a weird pairing, but I feel like with supporting the album, there's a bit more crossover, like just in the sort of sonic places that the album goes.
100%. It is a very exciting week. Your debut record, Nervous at Night, is out. It's out this Friday. Congratulations, mate. This is it's a gorgeous, gorgeous record.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, my absolute pleasure. I'm curious, I guess. The EP that we're discussing, Count the Stars, came out at the start of last year, and it kind of builds on that sound and on that songwriting, and I'm curious whether there was a distinct break between the two, or whether, you know, some of these songs have been around since the time of the EP, or whether they're separate kind of projects.
Yeah, some of the songs actually have been around even like before the EP. But I think song wise, I don't think there's a whole lot that distinguishes it other than that I'm always trying to just like push stuff further. But it's definitely the distinction is largely sonic. Like we definitely got a lot more like the production is a lot more involved, and it's not, you know, the EP is a pretty like raw, stripped down vibe, and the production on this one is like very all over the place in a fun way.
It is, as I said, it's a gorgeous record. There are elements of like folky singer-songwriter stuff. There's a few tracks that are a little bit more still within the Charlie Hickey wheelhouse, but a little bit more pop. I know that you recorded the album, I think, with Marshall Vore. Was that, I guess, were the sonics discussed when you went in, or was it just kind of like a let's do whatever and what comes out comes out?
Marshall and I are always like, we're always like hanging out and talking about music and stuff. So I think for like, there's a lot of talk about what we wanted to do with this album before we went in. I think just we're always like showing each other music and are often like being inspired by some of the same things. But I think we both definitely were clear that it was like, okay, we have more time and more resources. Like this time around, we should push it further. Like, and yeah, so I think that was kind of how we approached it.
It is the tracks on the record, I feel like, as we've discussed, the Sonics build. One of my favorite tracks on the record was 13, which I feel addresses a lot of the I feel like the album as a whole addresses adolescence and the moving beyond adolescence and that kind of weird space in between almost sometimes. And I feel like that track kind of does the job very, very well. I'm curious where that track in particular kind of stemmed from and where the catalyst was that inspired it.
It's really just about these boys that I was friends with in middle school. It's a pretty like fairly just like 100% autobiographical song. I like to think about like unlikely people or things to write about, because I feel like it's easy to just kind of like write the same like relationship song over and over again, but it can be interesting to like write songs about like platonic songs, and you know, sometimes the listener doesn't even know, they might think it's about a relationship or something, but I feel like it just makes for some more interesting things sometimes. And so it might, it might not have been my first impulse to like write about some boys that I was friends with in middle school, but it's more like I was like, okay, this might be interesting. And then that's kind of how that song came about.
That's very cool. I think that one of the beautiful things both on the EP and on the album, and both of my own opinion and I think other reviews and other kind of information that I've read, is that your songs do tend to have this kind of beautiful lived-in quality where lyrically it is I don't know how to word it better than maybe like lived in, or like this kind of quality that you're able to recognize and connect with it very quickly, more so than you would maybe like a song, as you said, that the lyrics are like a little bit more, I don't want to say banal, but you know, like where it's kind of more you're having to really work to connect to that song. Do you remember, I know that you were kind of raised in a musical family. Do you remember first sitting down and working out that you wanted to write music and sing?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a gradual thing, but I think it was just like, yeah, from like basically the moment I was born, it was like I was surrounded by it. My parents have both had music careers as singer-songwriters, and I would like, very quickly, like I would like watch old videos of them playing and be like listening to their records and listening to the records of like people that they had like collaborated with, and definitely like very early on had a strong feeling that like this is what I wanted to do, and it all felt very tangible too, which is kind of a lucky thing, that just kind of seeing it being right there, it was sort of like made me feel like I could, in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. What do they make of, I guess, what's happened now and where you are with your career?
I mean, they're just very stoked about it. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool that they've sort of been through some of it. So like, I can ask them for advice that another musician may not be able to ask their parents.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
No, it's yeah. So that I'm grateful for that. It can be a curse also, but also a blessing.
I'm curious. I'm going to get to some of the collaborators on this album in a second, but has there been discussion, or have they kind of brought up maybe them playing on one of your records, or kind of contributing in that way?
I think that would be awesome. I would like to do that. It didn't happen this time around, but I mean, yeah, they've both got beautiful voices. I think it would be awesome if they were to sing on something or something like that. I've thought about having them open a show. I've thought about having them reunite their band from the 90s and open a show sometime.
I think that would work. I think that's a great idea.
It's a good press story.
Exactly. It's a good press story. Yeah, exactly. Some of the collaborators you do have on the record, as we mentioned, Marshall Vore. There is Harrison, and I believe I've forgotten the other, Mason,
mm-hmm.
and a gentleman we recently had on the show, Christian Lee Hudson, who I believe that you're all kind of working the same realm of your label boss, Phoebe, which we'll come to in a second. But yeah, what's it like in that space when you guys are collaborating and working together on music?
I mean, it's really, it's amazing. I mean, because all the people you just named are obviously like people that I look up to a lot, and am inspired by. So it's like pretty like surreal and lucky to like just have them be so close, and like have some of them even live in the same house. But Mason and Harrison both live in the house that we that Marshall Studios at, and we made our record there. To be like, hey, come back and play on this. Like, it was pretty like this house just happens to some of the like best musicians in the world just happen to live there, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean,
makes it very easy for retakes.
Exactly. Yeah. There definitely is less of an element of like, okay, we're all here. Like we've got him for a day. We gotta like get everything out of him that we need. Which is like very freeing, because you can like be more like creative in a more leisurely way, and like some of the songs we recut them like 5 times, and like there's like 5 different versions of them floating around.
That's very cool. I think that the album has come together beautifully. It is the debut record, as we've mentioned, for yourself. It's the first release from you on Saddest Factory Records, which is Phoebe Bridgers Records, which you signed to, I believe, last year. So firstly, congratulations on getting signed. That's incredible.
Thank you so much.
Of course. I know that you knew Phoebe, I think, back when you were a teenager and kind of, I believe, cut your chops together on open mic nights or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. I met Phoebe when I was about probably 13 years old, and she was like 18 at the time, but she was like one of my like early musical heroes.
You're both from Pasadena, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
Is there much of a scene, like taking out the rest of LA and California, is there much of a scene just in Pasadena itself?
It's funny. I feel like there is, but that might sort of be a delusion a little bit. But but I don't know. I think it has something to do with that. There's a very sort of like artsy parents culture in Pasadena. So there's a lot of like, there's always like music festivals where there's like dad bands playing, and like I do feel like, and maybe it was like just in my like small little microcosm of it, but I do feel like it was always like there is kind of a music scene in Pasadena, or it was at least sort of like encouraged, like in a way, I think, by some of our parents. Like, yeah.
I look forward to, if as we discussed before, there's like your parents who had a band and now their son on his own musical career. If Pasadena just continues to kind of have that trend of their offspring, siblings, whatever, having bands, then it's going to create more and more incredible music.
Well, now I feel like everybody's moving to Pasadena. Is it like a lot of like hipster musicians? I don't know. I don't know like how that ended up happening, but I feel like it's been happening a lot lately.
I would say that you and Phoebe have maybe had something to do with that.
Maybe. I mean, if I could do anything to put Pasadena on the map, these shows.
I think you already have started to do that, Charlie. As I mentioned, yeah, this record is incredible. When you just going back to Saddest Factory, when you're presented with that opportunity where it's obviously getting signed, and as discussed, it puts a lot more backing resources behind yourself and your project. What's that kind of decision making like? I guess because Phoebe is a friend, was it something that you just automatically was like, yep, let's do it? Or what was the process like of signing?
Oh yeah, I didn't really doubt the decision for a second. As soon as I even heard that Phoebe was thinking about starting a label, in my mind I was like already thinking about that. But I mean, I feel like, when we actually did start talking about that, I was just like, it felt like a no-brainer. I mean, I trust Phoebe's whole like ethos about music so much, and I think, she's been really good in the way that she's like kind of goes about presenting her own music from a sort of business standpoint, not in any inauthentic way. But I just think she's really smart and has really good instincts and has something to offer that I don't really think any other A&R could really offer.
I would imagine that an artist on an indie label would have a much better understanding of what indie artists actually want instead of what, as you mentioned, A&R. With no disrespect to A&R people, they're lovely. They help us with this podcast, so still love to them, but just very different wants and needs. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate them all. No, yeah, for sure. I mean,
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
It took a lifetime to find the person you want to marry. Finding the perfect engagement ring is a lot easier. At BlueNile.com, you can find or design the ring you've always dreamed of with help from Blue Nile's jewelry experts who are on hand 24/7 to answer questions, and the ease and convenience of shopping online. For a limited time, get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com. That's $50 off with code LISTEN at BlueNile.com.
Yeah, it's important, I feel like, to be able, if you're in that position, to be able to see it from both sides of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. Charlie, I know before we mentioned the fact that you had been touring with Wolf Alice. I think that you're about to go back on the road with Lucius, and then you've got dates throughout the year. Could we expect to see you in Australia at any point within the next 12 months or so?
I'd love that. It's possible. No, there's no plans right now as we speak, but let's manifest it right now.
I am more than happy to manifest that. Let's do a Saddest Factory touring band, kind of bring and your parents' band, as you said, to open. Yeah, get everyone on the road to bring it down under.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Charlie, would you be happy to talk about the playlist that you sent through to us?
Yeah, absolutely. The first song I chose is "Mistaken for Strangers" by The National. The National has always been one of my favorite bands. Like top 3, I would say. Some of my favorite songwriting. I had on tour so much time to listen to music. I just went through the entire catalogs of a few of my favorite artists and would get really fixated on songs that had never stood out to me, but this song "Mistaken for Strangers" is just ended up being my current favorite, and just listens to it over and over again in the van. And I caught some lyrics that I had never caught before. I mean, that song just has such crazy lyrics, as Matt Berninger, he always does. He's just such a great writer. I also like that song is a little different. It's a little more it's a little more has sort of this brooding gloom to it that I feel like it's that I like. That's a little different from some of their other songs. But I don't know. Yeah, I just love that song, and I just felt like I had to put it on this list.
Very, very fair. I did see. I think there was another interview with yourself where they had asked if you were putting together a band, who would you have as a vocalist? And I think that you did put Matt as the vocalist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just such a fan.
He is an incredible voice, and again, just manifesting at this point. Just trying to get things out into the universe. Between Matt and his deep baritone and your incredible tenor, hopefully we can manifest some kind of beautiful duet between the two of you.
I don't even know if I could.
No, that's very fair. Sorry, I'll let you continue with the next track.
The next song I chose is called "I've Had It" by Amy Mann, which is it's been a song I've loved for a long time. But I think as I've started touring and kind of getting further into my career in music, I think it has become a lot more relevant. It's a song about kind of being a small kind of a song about being a small indie artist. but I mean it talks about touring, and it's just such a heartbreaking but kind of like optimistic song. I think basically what it's about is it's just about that thing where you're always like looking ahead to the next thing, and then like you realize that like the thing that you've been like wanting is happening right now, and you're missing it, which I feel like is like something me and like a lot of other musicians come up against a lot, because we're sort of like trained to always be thinking about what's next, or like have everything be so goal oriented. And that song like just describes that in a really like moving way.
It is a beautiful song, a very delicate kind of song, but yeah, beautiful song from Amy Mann.
Yeah, and I mean I love all her songs, but to me this is her most like vulnerable song.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The next song I chose is "Hit the Switch" by Bright Eyes. Another catalog that I sort of went through on tour. Also, one of my all-time favorite bands and songwriters. But again, just like a current favorite. I think I really got into the album Digital Ash, Digital Urn on this tour, which like came out the same day as Bright Eyes' biggest album, I'm Wide Awake It's Morning. So like not a lot of people talk about it. It's like it's evil twin. I'm Wide Awake is such a earnest folk album, and this album has like, I mean, the songwriting is pretty like similar, but the production is on Digital Ash is so like glitchy and like bizarre and just really unique. And I feel like, yeah, on this, and this is I think my favorite song from that record. It just has, I mean, the lyrics are just amazing, but then it's like has this really wild production. It's just really like evocative, and I just love that record and that song.
Absolutely a brilliant record. Like, do not get me wrong, Wide Awake, incredible record. I might have a Wide Awake tattoo on my person, which we'll keep concealed for now. But Digital Ash, yeah. I won't show you. But Digital Ash has some incredible songwriting as well. Like,
I'm so curious.
Arc of Time, Easy Lucky Free. That record's just is as incredible, and maybe doesn't, as you say, get enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, it just has this really like incredible like spirit to it. And it's just really unique and like.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Well, we're on this. We're talking about Conor and Saddle Creek. Before we move away from that, the next song I put is "Call Call" by The Faint. Which is these are all things I was listening to on tour, but The Faint has been a band that I've loved for a long time, like since I was in middle school. But I've kind of been returning to them recently, and I don't even know what to say about it. I felt like I had to choose this song because it's a bit of like a wild card, like among them all. I mean, it's just like. I mean, The Faint, they're just like, I don't know. There's such a unique band that there's nothing else like quite like them out there. I feel like they're so influential on so many bands, and nobody talks about them that much. But yeah, their stuff is very different from a lot of what I listen to, which makes it really refreshing. It's like obviously just like super like dark and like brooding. I mean, a lot of the music that I listen to is like very kind of like majory and like melancholy, and I think sometimes I just need a palate cleanser, and when I do, I will put on the Faint, and I just love. I mean, they're just so fun, and I just love that band.
Agreed. Incredible band, and no, actually, there's nothing more to say. Incredible band.
Yeah. And then, okay, I think that was 4 songs. Yeah, so the last song I put was Kinko's Field Trip 2005 by Underscores, which is like, I think one of my favorite songs that's come out in the past few years. I heard this song. Marshall showed me this. Marshall and I both really like hyperpop, and Underscores is this artist that is kind of I guess, I mean, very influenced by the hyperpop world, but they're also just a really great songwriter. And I think that's like, when I heard this song for the first time, I had a moment, because it was like merging the kind of like hyperpop, like distorted vocals with just like really just like honest and beautiful songwriting in a way that I feel like I had never heard before. And it just felt like something really, really unique and special. And I was just like so obsessed with it for a while. And Underscores is just such a great artist, and that whole record is a great record.
I did read somewhere that you and Marshall, were into hyperpop, which I have to admit I did find very curious, just because of the output of work that you guys have, and that I wouldn't relate it to hyperpop.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just like anything that is unique and like feels different and exciting, and I feel like hyperpop did feel like that for a while. I mean, I feel like it takes like when 100 Gex first like came on the scene, that felt really exciting to me. But I think like it takes like a very short time for things to feel kind of played out and old. But then like when I heard Underscores, it was like it kind of merging like my first love, which is like singer-songwriter music, with hyperpop in a really like seamless way. And I was just it was just kind of made me think about the possibilities of the genre a lot more, and like the ways that maybe like I could explore more like sonic territories. And like,
I have to admit, it was the only band on today's list that when I received the list I wasn't aware of, but will definitely be spending some more time with and having a look into.
Yeah, you definitely worth it.
Yeah. Charlie, thank you very much for your time today. I do appreciate you being on the podcast, and congratulations again for Nervous at Night, which is out this week.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Charlie Hickey for his time. Nervous at Night is out this Friday, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to buy the record. We also want to give a huge shout out to Liz at PIAS Australia for helping out with today's interview. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Wednesday and Friday morning, and we now have a Patreon, which you can find within the show notes of this episode. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.